If you're like me and curious about what this was all about, I got you covered.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Todd Brown, That Racing Show. Thanks for dropping by for this What the Hell Were They Thinking episode. Now, if you're like me, watched Chicago this past weekend, you probably heard about the passenger car that entered onto the racetrack. But what you didn't hear was what it was all about. I've been trying to find people that knew something on this, but I really haven't heard anything, so I figured, you know what? I'm going to bring it to everybody and dig into this. So I did. Now, if you're not familiar with this, there was a passenger car, a C8 Corvette, that got onto the racetrack following the rain postponement on Saturday at Chicago. It was quickly stopped by the police. A lot of people were saying Saturday night that he was arrested. There was even reports that there was multiple cars out there racing around and different things, when in fact it was just one car, and they were not arrested. They were only cited for negligent driving, not having proper registration, and no insurance. Now that right there got me thinking, why would somebody have a C8 Corvette with no insurance, no registration? I got to check this out. So here's what I come up with to share with you today. This car is owned by a company called 93 Boys out of Chicago. Now, 93 Boys was founded by a rapper whose name is Vic Mensa. And he is a guy who's collaborated a lot with the rapper Chance the Rapper in the past. Does a lot of things in the community, a big activist, trying to rebuild a lot of the west side of Chicago. He actually has a foundation called Save Money, Save Life, and tries to give back as much as he can. And it is related around the arts and trying to get people healthy and help and just rebuild a community. Really sounds like a great thing that he's doing. He also gives free gas to people in the community. And he also gives something else free to people in the community when he gives them free gas. Now, interestingly enough, he was also arrested in 2022 at an airport where he was charged with felony narcotics possession because he had a cache of LSD, mushrooms, capsules, gummies. Apparently, a good time about to take flight. But either way, this is where it comes back to. 93 Boys is the first black-owned cannabis company in the Chicago area. Now, something he's obviously very proud of because they promote it. They gave it a really big race theme with everything that they got there. They had a grand opening last year. By what I can see, it was probably within the last year. And everything about it has a racing theme, from pit stops to burnout section, all these different things that they have there. And they actually had a video on Instagram 47 weeks ago where they had a yellow Camaro at the back. And as they were filming it going towards it, they were saying, NASCAR, coming for you. So I think this is something that's been in mind for a good while that they've had planned. And in my opinion, this was a huge publicity stunt to get their name out there, because what better stage with everything that was going on in Chicago, all the eyes on it. Entrepreneur like this, going to go out there, going to bust through here and get a bunch of pictures, a bunch of media and everything. But it didn't pan out that way because obviously the one picture is most of what people have seen. So before I go any farther, let me show you some pictures of this car because they had it wrapped up racy style. And I found the Instagram site for the people who wrapped the car, got these pictures, and they actually tagged Chicago racing, everything in it as well. So this was something that was pretty much set for this race. Now, interestingly enough to me, what I had to put together was with no registration or no insurance. Kind of got to think this was something that was done probably the day before of the Chicago race on Friday, because obviously the car was wrapped right there at that time, and just leads me to think this was a quick decision to do something like this, but it probably didn't pan out the way that they expected to. And I'm still curious too how they got onto the track so easily. Leads back to some of the things with the thefts that happened at the beginning of construction of the racetrack, whether there's some people on security that maybe were helping out with this a little bit or whatever. But hey, here's the deal. Next year, if you're coming to Chicago and want to put your brand out there, I got a great piece of advice. Put it on the side of an Xfinity car and see what happens with that. Bring your friends in, bring the people in, and make it great. Because, look, here we are in NASCAR. CBD is allowed, sponsoring race cars. sponsoring racing events at Pocono. So it's obviously, it's there. And man, it's an opportunity to make it happen. Put your brand out there on television for good reasons instead of because you wanted to take some hot laps that didn't turn out quite the way you probably thought it was going to. Anyways, wanted to bring this to you because if you're like me, you was very curious about it. Things that hit me in the middle of the night, I'm going, damn it, what happened with that? I got to find out. So wanted to share it with you. Want to thank everybody who has subscribed to my channel here recently. It means a ton to me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I try to do something a little bit different than what everybody else is doing on here, and love to talk racing. And hey, throw your comments down here about this. Let's keep them good, though. Let's not get too crazy, but I find this whole thing to be kind of funny with nobody being hurt or nothing like that. But anyways, hope everybody out there is having a great day. Got more coming later this week. And as always, we'll see you at the checkered flag.